What's good, friends? Welcome back. Happy Friendsday. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Friends Like Mine. I am Natalie.
I'm Helen. Hey, friends. Hey.
What's good, everybody? This is take 2 of this week's episode. We had a really dope episode for y'all with 2 great guests. I don't think I'm going to name them because I'm hoping we'll have them back on at another time. But it was us, it was Jalen, had 2 great guests on. We talked about a lot of interesting stuff, and unfortunately, the audio was terrible. It was like not good at all. And so we weren't able to use the recording we had. It was like 3 hours of recording gone. So that was a bummer. But we want to power through that. We want to make sure we're still checking in with y'all and dropping an episode this week. So I decided Helen and I would sit down, shoot the shit a little bit, do like a midweek check-in with everybody and just see how the week goes, and hopefully maybe at some point we'll either get those guests back or maybe we'll drop the audio as is with like a warning, and we'll call it a bonus episode, like the lost episode. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'll do that if y'all. I think it would be a good episode to hear. So
Yeah, it was definitely a good time, for sure. Really appreciate our guests. And I'm sorry that, the whole thing with the audio happened, but I think little by little, we're learning
yeah,
and we'll get there for sure. Joined. But really, we just want to be able to have those raw conversations with our friends, because I'm sure that everybody has, a friend like ours
yeah, I love that.
somewhere. So, so join us. Let us know what you guys want to hear, because other than that, we're really not going to know what, our friends want to hear. We're not going to know if we're doing good or bad. I think that a lot of people are afraid of bad feedback or constructive criticism, as some would call it. And I completely understand it's sometimes very uncomfortable, but like the true Virgo that I am, I think honesty is the best policy. So please, you know, all of our friends that are listening, let us know.
Yeah, that's true. We can't evolve or make this what it is until we get feedback. So tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want us to talk about. The point is to not have one set topic, right? And I think we've done a good job the first few episodes of having a lot of variety in terms of what we talk about and having good conversations. I'm so bummed about that episode we recorded because it was really good. And it was the first time, funny enough, the first time we had friends as actual friends of the week. It's been family so far, which nothing wrong with that. It's just 2 people who have known us for a very long time. So we're gonna get either together or separately get them back on at some point. Lesson learned, and we'll continue to figure this audio thing out. Hopefully, I won't lose any more shit. That was also like,
I mean, it's been a rough week.
yeah, like 3 hours. 3 hours we recorded. It's been a long week and a lot of shit going on. It gets busy. Uh, Time of year, and so
It gets busy and then not busy. Like, if that makes any sense.
I think like
I love, I hate it and I love it at the same time, because I hate it because I hate the cold. Anybody who knows me in real life knows that I hate the winter. I hate the cold. My body hates it.
yeah,
It gets so sick. So, and not literally like sick, but just my body aches. Um, and so it's horrible in that part, but then it's nice because it allows me to just sit in my living room and, binge watch my favorite show right now, or I should say our favorite show right now, Weeds. Uh, but
I want to talk about that. Wait, detour the weeds for a second.
yeah,
Thoughts on record. So this was a show that like I watched from beginning to end when it originally aired, and I hadn't thought about weeds in years. Years I hadn't thought about weeds. And for some reason, randomly a few weeks ago, it popped into my head. And it's one of those things where I was like, I like that show so much, I'd rewatch it again now. And I was like, yo, you want to watch the show with me? And I pitched it to you. And I was like suburban mom, whatever, turns to drug dealing. It's really just weed. That gets herself into some shit in later seasons. And I was like, you want to watch it? And you're like, nah. And I was like, yo, she doesn't know she's missing out on a good show. Sneakily, like I watched the first episode again. I was like, nah, I gotta get home and watch this. So the next day, I casually just put episode 1 back on while we were making dinner, I think. And I was like, oh, I didn't really catch it the first time because I knew it was one of those things. I knew that if I like showed you 5 minutes, or if you got 5 minutes of it yourself, not even intending to, that you'd like it. Like you just had to watch it. So I put it on, and we've been working our way through it.
Yeah.
More now than when we first started, because I feel like when we first started, it took us forever to get through season.
I mean, I think season 1 was kind of like a slow burn because it was just, like she was just kind of starting.
It was just little.
It was just little shit. It was, like baby stuff. So that was a little boring, but it starts getting much better as the seasons go.
Midway through season 5 of 8.
Uh-huh.
Your thoughts, without spoiling your thoughts right now. Yeah, we're closer to the end than we are the beginning.
Uh-huh.
It's chaotic right now. Do you feel like it can get worse?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this show was pre-streamer also. Like I was watching it the days where you kind of had to watch it from week to week. You had no option. And from week to week, I'd be like, she can't possibly be in a worse situation next week when we talk.
And it just got worse.
And then you turn the episode on, it's not 5 minutes in the episode, and you're like, it's actually worse than the last episode.
Well, the thing is, like, this individual just seems to just make the wrong choice, minute by minute. It's a shit show. But in all of that, I think the thing that I admire the most, if we were to like look at it like, this character's real life, is that she was willing to do whatever it took. And although I'm not saying go out and sell drugs, hell no, to put food on the table. She was put in a circumstance that.
Yeah, but can I be honest? I think maybe it started that way, and maybe that was the real.
No, of course. There's greed.
That was the real goal of season 1.
Yeah.
Not even greed, because I have yet to see her be super wealthy off of this. She's constantly losing money.
I mean,
in big ways.
Yes.
So I feel like really it's about the power dynamics and the way that she, even though it's a circus, it's her circus. And she's always the ringleader, episode in and out and in and out. She is constantly the one who's like, it's a controlled chaos a little bit.
Like, I'm not gonna even lie. It kind of reminds me a little bit of La Reina del Sur. Maybe not on that level, right?
Yeah.
But
I get what you're saying.
I feel like, going back to that statement that you said about like that female power, right?
Maybe, but like, I think just the ability to be able to, like, if things are going to spiral, at least she's in control of how and why versus.
But is she in control?
I think that, and this isn't a spoiler because the premise is that her husband died. It's not a thing where you get to see this character and then he suddenly dies. When the show starts, he's already dead. She's already in the midst of her choices for some time. I feel like that's a thing that happened to her. And once that happened to her and it sent her downhill in a really crazy way, right? She made a decision at some point that things were no longer going to happen to her. They might happen around her, but never to her. If things were going to happen, it would be things she set in motion, right? So I think that's the difference. I think that she pushed and pushed and pushed trying to get revenge on life, but life just keeps kicking her ass in catastrophic ways. Every time I think it's bad, it gets fucking worse.
Yeah.
And then rewatching it, I'm just like, oh. And then I remember things and I'm like, shit, I know what's coming. So
yeah,
we're, again, It's a tough rewatch sometimes because the content and the jokes and the humor is very like not PC, as most early to mid 90s shows
That,
were.
now that you think about it, like in comparison to what you are able to see now, and going back to that cancel,
Oh yeah, yeah. That show would never survive today.
like the
And
things
you
they
get
say.
uncomfortable watching it a little bit because you know better, right? Like we've evolved with the time. So when you go back and rewatch, you're like, oh, but
But not to say that some of the shit's still not funny. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's tough.
It's tough because it's one of those things that, I feel like sometimes maybe you kind of laugh because there's that same emotion that you felt watching it first.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
But there are other things that they say, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's hard. I say watch with caution, trigger warning, or whatever. But
It's a good show.
yeah,
Highly recommend it.
a great cast too. Like a lot of really funny people are on the show, so it's interesting.
Okay, so was it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? You asked me who was my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't have one yet.
I feel like it's Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's just so, I don't know. Like,
Andy's all fucked up, and but he's really smart.
he is very like intelligent.
He's just saying
Common
smart.
sense and his logical thinking sometimes are completely off. But he's hilarious. Like some of the things they said. I mean, and he, gets all them ladies. How? Sure.
Andy's interesting.
Him and her other son, Shane.
Yeah.
Shane's, those two are my fucking favorite. Shane is characters.
I've always liked Dean, even though I consider him like a minor character.
Yeah.
But I like that in the midst of all that insanity,
He's
a reasonable one.
Yeah.
Well, he's reasonable because look, he's been through some shit, right? He started off a successful lawyer, banging a tennis instructor.
And then he wasn't a lawyer. He was always the accountant.
No, that's Doug.
Oh, Dean.
Doug is an idiot.
Okay, never mind.
No, Doug's a moron. I actually dislike that, how stupid Doug is. I'm talking about Dean, Celia's ex, Isabel's dad. Man's a great father. Despite all the chaos around him, he's a good dad. He put up with Celia's ass to fuck. Fucking Celia. Celia, no. Celia's gone through her share of shit, too.
Yeah.
She might be a bitch, but I don't know.
Anyone listening, watch an episode and DM us.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. Otherwise, these characters make no sense.
Yeah.
If you've watched Weeds back in the day, these characters will make sense to you. Like, I know your sisters watched it, and Matt. So.
Yeah. All of the characters that we are talking about, you'll meet them in the first, like episode.
All the ones we've mentioned so far, you meet in episode 1.
So even if it's just episode 1, do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch it.
Dean is my favorite.
We're not getting paid for anything.
Well, the show's been off the air for like a million years. Dean's my favorite, and then second to Dean, really like Halia and Con. So again, proceed with caution. Obviously, there's some stuff that's just not in today's world is probably like a little shitty, a lot of shitty. I'm not even going to pretend, but if you go into it with that understanding and you look at it, I guess, in the historical context, it was very popular back in the day. And the core material of the show, like the psychology of it all, is insane because it's a test of loyalty. It's a test of tenacity. She's constantly adapting to the bullshit happening around her. And she's been down bad, but so far, like never down. Bad. She gets a lot of space. It's a good show. So Valentine's Day is Friday.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Do you feel like, and I won't be offended if it's serious questions, like, do you feel like you still get as excited for Valentine's Day as maybe like you used to?
No.
Why do you think that is? You think it's just the adjustment of life? Or?
I think that for me, probably depends on the type of year that I'm having, on how it's going to affect certain holidays for me.
Okay.
I think, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. One that I like absolutely love, and no matter what kind of year I have, it's always very special as Christmas. But back to your question. So it depends more or less on, the year. And this year, I think that it means a lot. Only because I keep thinking about the year that Natalie and I are gonna have. And I think that that's a date that mainly, people focus a lot on that one day where you love this person, you show this person you love him because you give him flowers or you take him out to dinner. Then the rest of the year you are shitty. So what point is that? Like, what is the sense in that? But I feel like every day so far in 2025 has been that day that I have to show my partner how much I love him.
The last 12 months, when I say this year, not 2025, because it's like February. January was a year long, so there's that, which is crazy because like January dragged, January lasted forever this year, and now we're already almost midway through February. Every year's always so short, so bullshit. Happy Black History Month again.
Yes.
That bullshit of like 28 days, and then on top of that, I don't even want to recognize it. Like, fuck off. Happy Black History Month.
Yes. To all of our friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah. We recognize it.
Yes.
It's a different story for a different day. But yeah, Valentine's Day is an interesting holiday because I feel like we celebrate it really differently every year. Like there's never a year where it's like we know what we're gonna do, we know how that works. I feel like we're always planning up to the last minute. Yeah. We decided like a week and a half ago where we're gonna go. And it's not some years the gift is like a big deal. Other years I think both of us have just been like, I don't need to do a gift. Some years it looks even different than that. Like the first year Connor lived with us, Helen, I've always thought this was such a sweet memory, like a sweet gesture. Helen got up extra early, even though she used to have to go work in Orlando at that point in time. She got up early, got dressed up, got Connor all dressed up, and then they went and had a Valentine's Day breakfast. I thought that was so cute. And then she took him to get flowers for his teachers. His teacher, he had one teacher at the time. I thought that was great, and he loved that. So that was Valentine's Day one year. It was our first year with Connor. We didn't want to leave him with the sitter. Last year, what did we do? Nothing, because we were either going to on our way to Florida.
Yeah, it was something wrong.
Something along those lines, because we went to Florida for the week. We were going to go to Washington, D.C., and we had to change our plans. Last year, we unexpectedly went to Disney twice in the course of 2 months. We waited 13 years and then knocked out all 4 Disney parks in 2 months. We've been talking about going for years. Like, unexpectedly. It actually, I will say, it made me really appreciate Disney parks a little bit better. I'm still Team Universal because I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I think that, yeah, every year's been different in our many years together. Obviously, the first year you're dating, everything's got to be like super special and extra. I probably went like more out of my way than I normally would have, but I think we had fun our first year.
I can't remember what we did.
I went to Benihana.
We did?
We were in Altamont, and I went to Benihana. Or not Benihana, what's the other one? Kobe.
Kobe? Is that? No, that's not the time I got you drunk.
Yes, it is. Pretty sure that was Valentine's Day. That was wild.
Sake bombs.
Yeah, I didn't used to drink. And I tried sake bombs for the first time, and I thought I was so cool.
So did I.
I had like 3 back to back, and I don't remember dinner.
Well, you don't remember dinner, and then after that, then we go.
2 Valentine's days that I've done that, because one year it happened to me here when we went to Mount Fuji with Jocelyn and Axel.
Yeah, now he thinks, I can drink.
No, I know better now.
So, she used to, yeah.
Do you have a Valentine's Day that you do remember that you would say sticks out in your memory?
Truthfully, like everything just kind of meshes together. Like,
I can totally get that. I can't.
So not one thing sticks out.
I asked you that question full well knowing that if you asked me in return, I wouldn't have an answer for you because I don't remember. I think the one year that I can distinctly, besides the ones we've talked about, like I remember here and there, but the year that I specifically remember I was like celebrating We went to Los Andes.
Yes, I remember that. That was
That was a
fun.
good,
That was a good time.
that was a really nice dinner. That was the one time that I remember, like, hey, we specifically did the whole, like, get dressed up thing and, like, go to Los Andes.
This was before Connor.
Yeah, that was a good time. I think it's funny because it sounds bad when you say it, like, oh, the years run together. I think that when you've been together as long as we have, it's not that things like Valentine's Day lose their significance. I made plans. We were going to dinner. But I think that if right now both of us were like, I could take or leave going out on Valentine's Day. I don't know about you, but I would probably say I'd rather, like, get takeout or go somewhere quiet and
Yeah.
just me.
No.
I think I'm past the stage of it has to be big, elaborate.
And I mean, honestly, I keep thinking about that because we do have dinner plans. And I'm like such a cheapskate sometimes.
Forget cheapskate. I'm old as shit.
Like, do I really
Dinner
want to?
reservation is stupid to me.
I mean, I can literally make my own dinner because I can buy a steak and buy a lobster tail. Mind you, I prefer shrimp over lobster, but it's just that one dinner that you're like,
We could go to a seafood boil spot and for $100 we could
you
totally do that.
off that day.
That's a cool thing that we've picked up over the years that I really like. Like, I don't think I've ever told you how much I enjoy that. But that you and I randomly will pick special days throughout the year and we'll take the day off together. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's dope to be off on Valentine's Day together. Like, we don't have to do anything crazy. It could be as simple as going to lunch and get you breakfast. We could go have lunch. We could run errands that we need to run that, like, require the both of us. And do all that and still be home by 8 o'clock and have had a full day and be good. Or, like, some years we take off our anniversaries. Keeping in the theme of Valentine's Day, what do you think you like watching movies a lot? And so I wonder, even though it's not your normal genre, you like supernatural movies. What's your favorite romantic comedy?
The Notebook.
No, that's not a romantic comedy.
Oh, romantic comedy. Oh.
There's really cheesy ones.
Huh?
There's some really cheesy ones out there.
Oh, The Kissing Booth.
The Kissing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It was on Netflix.
Oh, okay. That's a recent movie, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I think mine is probably either
She don't like movies.
I honestly love a good rom-com, like a cheesy early 2000s rom-com. Even if I go a little older than that, You've Got Mail was a good one.
Yes.
You've Got Mail is really cute. When Harry Met Sally is an
That-
80s.
That's a good movie.
When Harry Met Sally is great.
But that's because what's his name is such a
Billy
good
Crystal? Yeah, that's Billy Crystal.
Oh no, I was thinking of it was somebody else.
A different movie.
No, I'm thinking of that movie, but for whatever reason, the character.
Tom Hanks.
Yes,
But that's because Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan did a lot of movies together. Like, they did You've Got Mail.
Wait, there was
and
one that he had
in Seattle.
Okay, is that the one that he had that big flappy dog?
No.
No,
I want to say that's Turner and
I think I watched maybe yes.
Turner and Hooch. That's an 80s movie, mid 80s, early 80s. I have a computer in front of me. You like the movie with him and the big floppy dog?
Yeah, but no, it was something else. All right, that's
1989.
Oh, I thought that was when Harry met Sally.
No.
That's crazy.
When Harry Met Sally it's her and Billy Crystal.
Oh yeah,
This is a great movie.
that was a good movie.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing, right? Because you watch these movies and it brings such nostalgia because you start having all these feelings and all these thoughts, right? Then as an adult right now watching it, you start noticing a lot more things that again would be culture cancel
culture.
Yeah,
They're just like attitudes towards dating are so different, but so the same. I think it's funny to watch movies like When Harry Met Sally because that came out in 1989, and like they're talking at one point. It's like, oh, let me introduce you to my friend. Let me write his phone number down. And she takes the number on a piece of paper and like pins it to her fridge and just randomly calls him, like this person, on like a Saturday night when she's not doing anything. And they just start talking. And I'm like, that would never happen in today's world. It would be like
Okay,
it would be like
yes.
yeah, it would be like the Bad Bunny song. It's like, you like
Yeah.
you like one of my pictures, I'm gonna like it back. You follow me, I'm gonna follow you back, and then maybe we DM each other or shoot subliminals towards each other's stories for 6 months, and then we link. And that's like today's dating culture. It's kind of dope. I'm gonna age myself a little bit, but it's kind of dope to go back to the like no free calls before 9 era or the like early texting era.
You had to go through that? I'm sorry to hear that.
Like those days were different because if you were spending your minutes on somebody, they had to be special.
Can't relate. I only talk to people after 9.
But no, but like that era of dating, and you and I kind of met each other at like the tail end of not quite that era, much later. I think unlimited calling was a thing by then.
Yeah.
Works. Most
She just couldn't call me because I had a Hawaiian number.
when Helen and I first met, this was the struggle bus because she had a Hawaii number and I had Metro PCS, and you couldn't call Hawaii with Metro PCS. So I have to text her and be like, call me, and then hope she saw the text, because you hear a phone call much faster than you'll see a text, or like you get a text and your phone vibrates and you're like, I'll look at it in a minute. And maybe sometimes I only had like 15 minutes to talk because I was on break at work or something. And if you don't see that text in them 15 minutes, it's a fucking wrap. Like, that's the bullshit of that era. Now I just call her. Well, now I just scroll over 4 feet or walk into the office.
Literally. Sometimes she'll be in the office. I'm like somewhere else in the house and she's calling me.
So you said, so The Notebook is a drama. What was your romantic comedy? I feel like I heard it and then I missed it. We talked about it.
Kissing Booth.
Kissing Booth. Okay. What about like the older era, like the early 2000s? Were you a Katherine Heigl fan?
Who?
Katherine Heigl. She's in Grey's Anatomy and a bunch of romantic comedies.
No.
Her.
Oh,
she has some good ones.
Was it Dress?
27 Dresses.
Yes.
That was filmed in Rhode Island. Parts of it were filmed in Rhode Island,
I think that's probably one of my favorite movies that she was in.
Like a Heigl movie. I liked Cameron Diaz was in some good ones.
Cameron Diaz was good.
But to me, she's got a really dark sense of humor, so it's not always a rom-com, but I love it. Like,
I like that kind of sense.
What was it? Is it Bad Teacher?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that movie's so fucking funny. That's like prime Cameron Diaz to me. Like, that's where she shines. What movie did you and I watch recently? I can't remember the name of it, but she doesn't know she's the side chick.
Yeah.
And then she finds out she's the side chick, and her and the wife end up becoming friends, and they team up to fuck this guy's life up. They want to ruin his life. I think it's called The Other Woman, maybe? Let's see. Yes, The Other Woman.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what other, I guess you'd call it a romantic comedy, but I don't know. I'm dating myself so much with these. Remember the one where when Mel Gibson was still okay in Hollywood? And he did What Women Want, where he could hear what women were thinking.
Oh yeah.
Taraji Henson did a remake. You've put me onto some good movies. I mostly like supernatural and like action.
So I like supernatural for sure. There's some that I don't. We went to watch a movie with Natalie, and I thought it was so good.
Longlegs. That movie was scary as shit.
No,
bro, I still feel a little creeped out about Longlegs. I won't even hold you. That movie still can get under my skin, and it was so good that I'd watch it again, and it creeped me the fuck out.
It didn't freak me out. It just it was so stupid.
Jalen was gonna watch it, and it got really late here one night, and I want somebody outside of you and I to watch it to weigh in with their opinion. The problem is nobody we know is into scary movies like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was absolutely stupid.
It was terrifying.
But
It was creepy.
Which
It was unsettling.
Which is really scary because sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm more afraid of the dead of the living than I am of the dead. But then there's other times that I'm more scared of the dead than the living.
This was supernatural in such a subtle way. And it was in such a, and I won't give spoilers. I would say y'all watch it and then let's chat about it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was that scary, but the other genre that I like is like suspense. I like thrillers. I like action.
So you've put me on to some good movies.
Uh-huh.
I think I can say that I've probably put you on to some of the best shows you've watched.
Shows and music.
I take that as a big compliment. Shows for sure. And
Yeah.
always where I have to like sneakily, this sounds bad, sneakily get you to watch it. Like I have to put it on when you're around. Insecure.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you for putting me onto that show.
It's a show that I watch at least once a year.
I think I would.
That show,
but not only that, it's one of them shows that you just it leaves you wondering like what happened to them like in real life.
Oh,
and although you know for sure that these are not real characters, obviously they've become such part of you because at least for me, I was each character at some point in my life.
We should do as like bonus episodes, right? We should get 2 or 3 of us together and we should rewatch Insecure and break it down episode by episode.
I'm down.
Do that as like bonus, or maybe we do another podcast, but I think that would be cool because enough of our collective circle has watched it that we could talk about it. But like rewatch it, like maybe we get together, watch the episode before the podcast. Because there's a podcast that followed it in real time. Insecurity, and it was spelled TEA. And it was Crystal and Jessica Lee, I think is her name. And it was sponsored by HBO, so it was like the official podcast. But I feel like it would be nice to get different perspectives.
I think also different perspectives from, friends that have, obviously everybody has their own, path and also experiences that are different to, culturally different to the main characters.
Yeah.
Per se. Just I think
relates you.
Yeah, how we relate. Even though we're different cultures, how would our culture play a role in that? Because I feel like yes, we lived similar situations, but I feel like the decisions that have been made are also impacted some way or other because of our upbringing.
There's a show on Showtime that I think you and I would like. That I think is like it's not exactly Central American culture, but I think it's like,
where are they from?
I think they're Mexican. I mean, Vida, but I think Vida is to some extent like Insecure, because I don't think it's quite necessarily that. And I haven't watched enough of it, disclaimer, to know. But I think it's like if you combined L Word, what was the last version of the L Word that we got? Gen Q?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't watch all of that. I thought at some point it was just
you watched the L Word because of me?
Yeah, I watched that.
That was good.
It was good.
That's another one that we could rewatch. We should have with Priscilla. Priscilla loved L Word.
What was that?
No, that's the real L Word.
Oh, that's a
different thing. But I think that if you mixed Insecure and L Word, yeah, I think we should watch Vida. I think we might like it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll put you on to Insecure, Weeds, Drinking on Apple. Is a good show. Anyway, what else have I put you on to?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Big Love. Big Love, yeah. True Blood, even though we didn't finish True Blood.
Oh my God, that was such a good one too. Yes, I need to finish that.
Shit, you didn't even get all the way in. I think we only got to season 3 of True Blood, House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Although this last season was yeah, it was just like I feel like they just did
Love is
something
Blind.
to, have something.
Occasionally, I get you to watch reality.
Yeah, that it it's tough because sometimes
That's not watch.
yeah, but sometimes I'm like, listen, okay, there's days that I'm like, okay, fine, I don't have to be super smart today, you know, I can let my brain rot for a while. But then there's times that I'm like, absolutely not. Because I probably have had a rough day, at
That's
work.
exactly why it's good.
And then on top of that, to have to listen to more stupid people.
You know what show you'd like? My ADHD. You know what show you'd like? And I got pretty well into it. I stopped. But I also think you like action. It's good.
The Americans. I've been watching Night Agent. I've been watching it like here and there, like the second season.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no,
Good.
I can't get in. So I love it. Like because I'm like I should have been, part of the CIA, FBI. Like who doesn't want to go and be all up in the cheese man?
You know what else was good for a while? American Horror Story.
Yes, there is like my favorite is the Coven.
Coven.
That's my
that
favorite
once a
one.
year.
That one is my favorite.
I
So
rewatched
I like
that several times.
witchy stuff. Um, yeah.
I watched that around Halloween.
I mean, any time of day.
You like Charmed
Charmed. Yes, I did love that show.
and Supernatural.
Okay, so I did watch all of Charmed, and I think that it was more like, because they're sisters, witches, that kind of thing. That was cool. Shout out to my sisters. Supernatural started off good, and then it just went south.
Anyway, we went down a long line of things, but we've watched some good shows.
Yeah.
There are some that I've forged on without you.
If anybody has any suggestions, hit us up. Let us know.
Often will choose shows that were popular when I was probably just not like I was like right at the limit of being old enough to understand and appreciate it or understand and be okay with watching it that I missed that I have gone back. Weeds was at least not late 90s. Weeds was probably early 2000s and it ended like mid 2010s. It ran for 8 seasons. Weeds ended in 2013. It was by the time that it finished, it was a little culturally appropriate and relevant than it started out to be.
Any movies?
That I like right now.
No. In honor to Black History Month, I've been watching a lot of um, movies that have a lot of
Did you watch the new one, Historical Black Figures?
yeah.
Did you? Oh, Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures was good.
God, I love.
I just watched one. It's on Netflix. It's about the military women.
Yes, I was just gonna ask if you watched that
Yeah.
one. Hold on. Was oh good with Carrie
Yeah.
Washington.
I watched
The 6888.
yeah, that movie was really good. Rob Keith wasn't really
That
good.
movie was fucked up.
It was fucked up, but it was really
Yeah,
good.
true story.
Yeah.
Soul Food's always a good one.
So just good. I'm
How
sorry
many
that I like ideas of
but these are also not like Soul Food is a classic black movie, but I feel like there are even older ones that are more like
We Need to Excel, baby.
oof,
That was
such a good movie. I still gotta go back. And even those are like they're still like fully high. There's all like the movies, Kid and Play. But Soul Food's a good watch. Anyways,
yeah.
if you had to pick a Valentine's Day candy that you like the most, and I understand you're not a big candy person, what would your Valentine's Day be?
It's not Valentine's candy.
I guess.
Uh,
Say first.
no.
I'm gonna say I choose. I choose.
God, I love those things.
Helen's and
No.
sugar-free Werther's. Y'all.
What? The little hearts. The little sweet hearts.
Candy hearts.
Yeah, those are cute.
Look, now she's getting the Werther's
Yeah, those are cute.
live and direct.
Um,
Werther's.
how about you?
Favorite Halloween candy. Or not Halloween. I'm stupid. Favorite Valentine's Day candy.
Ooh, I know.
Me?
Yes.
I love chocolate. I do love white chocolate. Love
The the ones that come in the little, what are they called?
the Lindt
Yes.
truffles. Those are good. I actually really, really love. I don't. This is a stupid thing to enjoy. I really like edible arrangements. Like I like the edible. I like edible arrangements. I like fruit covered in chocolate, but like cold fruit covered in chocolate. I know it's just
Like strawberries.
chocolate covered strawberries are elite. I also really like chocolate covered pretzels. My sister in law, shout out Denise, makes chocolate covered pretzels for like every big birthday, and I'll always eat a bunch of those. Those are really freaking good. I really enjoy those, especially the ones that have like white chocolate, or when she does the chocolate covered Oreos. I enjoy those. But Valentine's Day specifically, yeah, it would be like the Lindt truffles or like
You know what I would
chocolate
add?
covered strawberries. Ooh, we should treat ourselves to an edible arrangement for Valentine's Day.
I was thinking that a good like edible arrangement would be just cups filled with, like mango and chamoy.
That's wild. Oh, I'll get you that. That's heartburn waiting to happen.
I
Indigestion.
will take a couple of Tums.
Yeah, that's straight
Tums.
indigestion.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's subjective, right? Maybe it's subjective. It's everybody's opinion is different, right? And I guess you can't really define. But like I said, I'm thinking about the stuff that you see in the stores, widely available candies that you see in the stores. Those I like the little Russell Stover chocolate boxes. Is it? I like the one that have like the variety of candies, and you have to look at the back of the lid to see what the candy is.
Yeah,
Or the little paper, and so those are the best. Those are the best chocolates.
Okay.
I enjoy those a lot.
Um,
Feel free to take some ideas.
so she doesn't like covered chocolate pretzels. Got it. She hates white chocolate.
What's one Valentine's Day tradition that you feel like needs to die? Flowers. You like flowers?
I do, but they're super expensive.
Yeah.
So the day before, I can get them for $14.99. The day of, I'm getting them for $40-something.
Yeah, that sucks.
They price gouge almost all the flowers. And then usually the ones that you get, because you're getting them last minute and you're getting them obviously at a much higher price, also getting the shittier one. So that's the only reason why.
Fair.
So instead of flowers, just get them a plant, snake plant. They last very long.
I think for me, a Valentine's Day tradition that should probably die is I think that, and it's silly because I'm a gift giver. I love to give gifts. I think that like the expectation of give fancy. But that's you specifically, but just in general.
No, no.
Vibe.
But I feel as though that should be for like, the same for every holiday. I think that, and we kind of do this because, teach these kids that every holiday, we're buying something. We're buying something, right? So Easter basket, Valentine's gift. Like every time we have to give them something, we're buying something. And then that should not be the expectation any longer.
I get why we do it as a society. Favorite love song. Throw it on the soundtrack.
Bend the knee.
Down on bended knee. Okay. You like a breakup.
Like that music is just like poetry.
I have so many. If you want like an up tempo one, I think my recommendation for this week, my up tempo Valentine's Day love song, is "If It Isn't Love" by New Edition.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Classic. And then not too far in the future from that, Cupid by 112. Or God, or if you want like a deep cut by 112, God Knows by 112 is a good song. God Knows and Cupid are like favorites.
I like If.
You like, but those are like breakup songs. I feel like a love song. Down on bended knee is him begging this woman to come back. What if it's like, hey, if I had a business to fuck up?
How about
You have one that's like a love song?
Madonna?
Absolutely.
Red Room? Red something. Look at it.
Be Red Light Special by
Yeah,
TNT.
no. But she has Madonna has a song. something bad.
Nothing really matters.
Hmm.
How does it go?
Can't, because now in my mind I'm getting the song mixed with the one from TLC.
How do you know you weren't doing that?
No, because I knew it wasn't.
Like prayer?
No, it's not. No, not. It's like a love song.
I think I know exactly. Is it the one where she's like, the guy's like a bullfighter in the video?
Yes.
I've always been.
Yeah, that's it.
How did I get there? How did I
You
land?
understand, Helen?
Bro, that was a journey. Oh my goodness. Say goodbye.
Yes, that one.
That's a pickup song too. I'll take a bow.
That. All right. Read it.
Take a bow is about according to Wikipedia, it's about unrequited love.
I like
Somebody doesn't return love back.
toxic.
You love them and they don't love you back.
How many of you have experienced that? Share it with us. I want to know. Tell me your craziest story.
Yep.
I want to hear it.
I think we do an episode on toxic breakups. I'm just kidding. But
I've only been with one person.
so no love song, just breakups.
Yeah.
You're
Okay. I mean, to me, those are love songs.
They are they are centered romantically.
Love song.
You like Bobby B, Chris Brown.
I like Chris Brown.
I know exactly which song. Breakup song. What song? Deuces.
No, well, Deuces is a really good one. Yeah, but the one that I've been on.
Oh my god. Delusional.
Yes. Oh,
You could have picked Superhuman.
I do like Superhuman. It's a cute song. I loved it when it came out. I still do.
Superhuman's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's been a nice little chat, huh?
Yeah, this was awesome.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Any words of advice for people going out to celebrate Valentine's Day or not? Any words of wisdom for the lovers out there?
I mean, I think that whether or not you have somebody, to share it with, um, you should always take care of yourself first.
Mhm.
So don't be afraid to go out and take yourself out to lunch. Go get your pedicure, go get your nails done, get your hair done.
Helen's always got at least one other personality with her.
Yeah, 15 and counting.
You said that in the episode we lost.
Yeah,
It's a good place but
15 and counting. So Natalie never gets bored. Don't worry, ladies. She's well entertained.
oh, I don't think the ladies are checking for me. I'm not checking for them either. Love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself. And if you are going to decide to go out and enjoy it with someone, truly enjoy the moment. Keep your electronics to a minimum. I think that, and hey, I might age myself and, some people might find this like, yes, but I feel like when you go out with, on a date, I think it's important to continue having that human interaction.
Sure.
I think even us, I think sometimes we find ourselves on our phone, like we go out to dinner and Nata's on her phone and I'm on my phone and I'm like, dude, like, what's the point of going out if we can't have these type of conversations? So,
For sure.
but yeah, truly enjoy your time with whoever you're sharing it with, even if it's a friend. Maybe it might not be someone who you are romantically involved with, even if it's a friend, family member.
What is something that there are days where you don't have to go above and beyond, but it's a nice thing to do. And depending on your partner's love language, like yours is acts of service, right? So it's less about the fact that we're going to dinner and more, well, you're also a foodie, but it's less about the fact that we're going to dinner and more about the fact that I didn't make you make the reservations. Yeah. You didn't have to do the guesswork or the plan. I feel like that's the part that you appreciate. The where we're going is always nice, but that takes a backseat to, did I have to make plans? Do I have to go out of my way to be busy and do shit that day? I feel like as your wife, my thought is that your ideal day would be a day where you don't have to do anything. And especially the normal days where somebody would be taking care of or taking that off your shoulders. Like a day where you didn't have to clean or a day where you didn't have to
I like cleaning. That relaxes me.
or a day where they're cleaning for you.
No, because Nobody cleans like me.
That would be, I think, just doing stuff for you to take worry off your mind is your ideal like way of being shown love. Maybe not pampered, because I think there's a difference between pampering and committing an act of love. Yes, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, no, you sound just about right. No, I mean, I would do like the pampering day, like a spa day, like things like that. I would do that, but that isn't
Because
a service.
I don't think you getting pampered is something that should only happen on special occasions. If you want to do it, you should do it.
But I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. If I want to do it, I can just do it. However, it doesn't happen just like that.
But that's not anybody's everyday life. What do you know?
No, I know,
paper?
I understand that. I mean, there's women out there, but
Well, what I'm
just
saying
it's not
is
normal.
that's not a way of like that to me doesn't. And maybe I'm wrong. My argument was that's not necessarily an act of love towards you because it's not really an act of service
But to me, it is.
to go out and be pampered.
Because you're paying for someone to do something for me.
If I pay somebody to clean the house,
Would that be one?
would you appreciate that as an act of service?
I would appreciate it.
See, I look at it.
Okay, here's the thing is, okay, so maybe this is why I say that I would appreciate more like a spa day, right? Because obviously I can't give a facial the way somebody else, could. I can't give myself a massage like somebody else would be able to, right? Because I can't physically, do that. But cleaning, it's something that I can do, and I can do a lot better than, some people. So things that I'm able to do for myself, I find it hard to be like, okay, yeah, I'll let somebody else do it. Does that make sense? If it's something like I can't do, I can't cut my own hair because it's things that I feel like I can do, but you could get me a massage because I can't do that for myself. A haircut because I can't cut my own hair. A pedicure because I can't do my own pedicures anymore. Things that I can't do myself, are things that I would be like, okay, yeah. How about you? What do you want for Valentine's Day? Since you are words of affirmation, what does that look like for you?
I think I appreciate handwritten notes or like letters. I think that's a very nice gesture. Yes, it's about words. Words don't have to necessarily be spoken. It can be written. I think when somebody takes the time to like sit down and put thought into what they're saying to somebody, it's very, to me, that's extra sentimental because it's the time to actually articulate how you feel or how you appreciate what somebody's presence in your life is or means for them. There's a lot of beauty in that takes the form of.
So you would prefer that over a card?
It could be a card where you've written something in it, but what I don't like that sounds what I don't necessarily think qualifies in that category is buying a card and just signing your name at the bottom with no message.
So they said Happy Valentine's, that would be, or you want like a long message?
It doesn't have to be long per se, but just something that actually takes some thought. Happy Valentine's Day takes no thought. You say Happy Valentine's Day to the clerk at Walgreens, you don't actually care if they have Happy Valentine's Day or not. You don't know that person.
This is why I don't really ever say that to anybody.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. It's like, have a good day. Do you really want that person to have a good day?
I mean, I hope they do, but my day doesn't hinge on whether or not. Just so if you write Happy Valentine's Day in a card, number one, the card probably already says it. So now it's just twice for no reason. Number two, I think that again, it's just very minimal thought. And I hate that because I just think there's more that can be done.
So that's part of my problem. I like to procrastinate on everything. And sometimes I write like a little tiny note,
See, and that's why like it's super sentimental to me. I have notes that you wrote me when we first started dating.
I thought you were like in your phone. I was like,
no. And I have emails. I have all the emails you and I ever exchanged back in the day.
oh Lord.
Older.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but mostly, honestly, it's mostly embarrassing to go back and read because you're a different person. Funny street.
We little baby.
We were both wee little babies. I just think we were different people back then. We're not the same people we were. But it's nice to look back and have a progression of what our journey looked like because you and I talk about this a lot. Sometimes you forget that the person you're married to or spending life with, dating any significant amount of time was a stranger at one point. Like you forget they were a stranger at one point. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but to me it does. I forget sometimes that you and I at one point did not know each other, that we had lives before each other, right? Big lives, did a lot of things. So sometimes it's interesting to just be having a conversation with people or whatever and be like this, or looking back at how it first started. Because I think that nowadays I talk both good and bad, and I take full responsibility for this, but I think that the way that you talk to somebody or the conversations you have with somebody are far different when you're first getting to know them than they are now 13, 14 years in. Absolutely. In good and bad ways, right? I'm a lot more comfortable sharing now than I was when I first met. And that's time and trust, right? Where I just think that like I was a lot
Nicer, tolerant,
I think that I was a lot more hesitant about
being you.
no. I think I've always been me. I just think that probably didn't trust you. Truthfully. I don't think I trusted you for a while. And it's not personal. Just I was coming from a place where trust was it was a big commodity.
I mean,
Trust was currency for me.
I get it.
And obviously now I trust you implicitly. Like I don't really think about the day to day of like how much trust it takes to be. It takes a lot of trust. That person lives with you. They know your deepest, darkest secrets most of the time. Deepest, darkest secrets most of the time. They know they've seen you good. They've seen you bad. They've seen you sick. They've seen you healed.
And see, and that's when you, like, I trusted you more before.
So you trust me less now?
No, not so much that I trust you less, but going back to what you were saying, like you know so much of me
Yeah.
that sometimes it's scary to know how much you know, and how about we're not together? How much are you willing to tell? Because you are gonna tell, you know. Um,
Think
because whether we say that we wouldn't, talk about each other, and you're gonna be the last person that I'll ever even mention, and blah 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 blah. We both know that that's not gonna be the case.
this is funny because organic it takes time to understand or recognize your fault in a breakup, right? And when you say you know that I'd probably tell, realistically, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that everybody's mind gravitates to what are you telling the next person about me? Like the next person you date. What kind of picture of me are you painting? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
And I think that that's an interesting thing to think about because, and this comes with maybe trust or maturity. When we first met, I would have told you that the breakup was 99.999% my ex's fault and 0.01% mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had minimal responsibility in the breakup. And then I think that probably a year or two later, my answer would have changed to be like, 80-90 or 80-20 or 90-10. Still taking minimal responsibility, but taking it. Um, And nowadays, I think it is 50-50. So I think that it's a broad spectrum of trust. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Like you said, wonder almost what I would tell the next person. In the beginning, I might only tell the bad because, and that's not intentional, but psychologically, we all do it.
No, that's what I said. I know that
Then
we're both do it.
down the line, I think that I come to the realization, like, yeah, majority is on me or it was 50-50. We just weren't what's really hard for people to say and I get it, but I also don't get it is it seems exceptionally hard for people to just be like, we weren't a good match and that's just that.
I mean, I would tell you that with my ex that we weren't,
Mm.
right? A good match, but I would still do 80-20, and 20% was mine. 20, 80% was his.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's because we were both at a different, the age gap wasn't so huge, but it was still there. And not only was there an age gap, there was also life experiences that I had not as a 19-year-old experience. And, you know, um, it didn't matter what anybody would have told me regardless. I was going to do whatever I wanted to, right? Um, but the fact that this person had already been living on their own, they had experienced life on their own. They had girlfriend already before me. Um, they went out to party. They had lived, a life before me. So yeah, I feel like they they knew more, and to a certain extent,
You feel like they use that to their advantage?
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that, again, when my ex and I first broke up, I'd probably tilt the blame, and progressively it would come to be what it is now, where I realized it was 50-50. 50-50, and then throwing that it just was not the right person. If we weren't
That
meant to be together.
that I always knew, and I would always tell this person, because I never felt like I was, the love of their life, the person for them. I never felt that way. I would always tell them. I would always tell them, someday you're gonna meet the woman, of your life and the love of your life, and you're gonna treat them so differently. And sure enough, happy for them. I still think that it's a big step, big thing for you to go back and be like, it's 50-50. Because I don't know what I'm gonna need to ever get there, but
And maybe you're not supposed to. Like, maybe
yeah,
it truly was 80-20. I just personally landed on 50-50. And it took me time to get there. We started 14 years later, a very notable amount of time. So I just think that in the beginning, I didn't get there right away because I was still growing as a person. And then I think that, kind of when it started to shift, I was ready to admit some of the things that I know I contributed to that were easy to, I don't want to say dismiss. That probably sounds more
yeah,
manipulative than it is, but I was ready to recognize things about myself that I knew were contributing factors. And now where I've landed at today is I recognize the things within myself that were contributing factors that would be contributing factors no matter who I was with. And I
that's awesome.
recognize that there are things about the other person that I nothing to do with me, yet are huge in terms of our relationship. Sustainably, we would never have made it. We were moving in two completely different directions. We had two completely different ideologies on what life looked like long term, I think. And so fundamentally, we were in opposition to each other, regardless of whatever happened or whatever catalyst there were to ending the relationship. The reality is that it was never going to be sustainable because at that point, I had already started to kind of self actualize on the fact that, like, we just had two different ideas. Again, not a knock to whatever it is that the life path that she chose. And that's where 50-50 comes. It's the balance of knowing that there are things about yourself that will inevitably be a factor in every negative interaction you have. And those are the things you can target and work on in therapy or in growth or in meditation or reading. And then there are parts of you that simply don't jive with others. And that doesn't make you at fault in some way. It just makes you human.
Yeah, I get
So, I mean, you may never get to 50-50 with your ex because it may not have truly been 50. Maybe what you can do as a next step of closure, although I think you've taken some really significant steps towards closure, but what you might consider doing as a next step of closure is understanding and owning the things about you that weren't maybe the best factors at whatever time of your breakup, right? Take the things about you and just recognize within yourself that that might have been a bigger contribution than you initially thought, right?
yes. And I think that it would be easier for me to really take more ownership of that thought if I felt as though this person loved, but I never felt that from that person.
But again, this is stepping outside of whatever feelings they might have had. It's understanding that there were things about you that are not going to change regardless of who they're directed at. There are things about you that simply are as they are. And that comes from external pressures as a child, cultural experiences, life experiences, being able to educate yourself on what other people are going through so you could be a strong ally. It's understanding that, like, you can recognize the things within you that would be the same if it were me, if it were your ex, if it were somebody else, if it were somebody else. Those things will always kind of remain outliers. Does that make sense? And that's where you could say, I was at fault for this or that. I was 100% at fault because I do this thing and I did it this day. It may not have been 100% of the problem, but your portion of it that you can't take back or change is that. That's your current. Yeah. It's been a great episode. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the chat.
Feliz Día del Amor y la Amistad.
I love that. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Black History Month one more time. Yes. Thanks for joining me, babe. That was a wonderful discussion, a great way to end the podcast. And we will see y'all on the next one. Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. We have it on Amazon, Audible. If you can't find it on any of those, come find me. I'll direct you somewhere. But you should be able to access our episodes from anywhere. Again, please send in feedback. You can send that to Friends Like Mine Pod. That's Friends Like Mine POD at gmail.com. And you never know, we might read whatever you send in on the show. Again, everyone, have a great weekend. I am Natalie.
I'm Helen.
Have a good one.
Bye.